myself to hold my hand. Standing in the shadows of where we have been. Sleeping with your back facing me. I know this isn't us. Baby, pull me closer, let's fall in love. Oh, I can feel my body move to every move you make. And I can feel the tension every time we're close. I know whatever happens, I will have you next to me. 'Cause tonight we have it all. We're dancing as one. 'Cause we're dancing as one. 'Cause we're dancing as one. 'Cause we're dancing as one. We've been into places all at once. Wish that what we said would come undone. Feels like our minds have been turned off. Haven't seen each other for so long. I know this isn't us. Baby, pull me closer, let's fall in love. Oh, I can feel my body move to every move you make. And I can feel the tension every time we're close. I know whatever happens, I will have you next to me. 'Cause tonight we have it all. 'Cause we're dancing as one. 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 You and me are moving. Make sure we get through this. Let's just keep on dancing as one. You and me are moving. Make sure we get through this. Let's just keep on dancing as one. 'Cause we're 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 dancing as one.
I've been a writer, I've been a mess, I've been a dreamer, I settled for less. I've been a fire, I've been the rain, I've been a circle, closing again. But you can trust me with your heart, 'cause I know what it's like to fall apart. Hold your breath, take a leap, I got your back. Don't be scared, I can lead you through the track.
All right, we're gonna do a mic check. How's everyone doing? Should be a little bit different. You might have to adjust your volume level, but got some new audio settings.
I've had a vision, I've had a friend, I've had a passion, I've lost my defense. I've been in trouble, I have been safe, I've been abandoned, and I found a way. And you can trust me with your heart.
All right, great. Thank you, everybody. We'll let you continue with the regularly scheduled Smarty Party, and we'll see you shortly.
Hold your breath, take a leap, I got your back. Don't be scared. circle again and again. Oh no, anxiety creeps up on me. Is this how it's supposed to feel? Tell me when it's over, I got someplace that I gotta be. It won't leave. My friends say, get out of your comfort zone, it's a blessing in disguise. Get out of what you call home, your name is written in the sky. It might feel just like you're on your own, but baby, it's another lie. Remember you were made. I try to work, but it doesn't work. I try to say something, but there's no word. I try to justify my actions, less reactions, heartbeat raising. Oh, it doesn't work.
Danny unveils a masterpiece.
And Smart Doll Land officially opens on Airbnb.
This is your April Fool's edition of the Smart Doll News. Hey everybody!
It's our favorite Smart Doll Day of the year. I don't know if it's my favorite day of the year, but it's my favorite day for the Smart Doll News.
We always love this. This is always so much fun to really dig into.
So every year, Danny puts out a whole mess load of announcements on April Fools. The problem is, they're not all jokes.
They're not.
In fact, Smart Doll started off as an April Fool's joke entirely.
And obviously, there was a grain of truth in it.
So we're going to take a look this week at what he announced on Friday, sort of Saturday, and what in there is actually like plausible, true, whatever.
And how did he kind of like dig his knife in there a little bit?
Yeah. So before we start that, of course, let's take a look at our Super Smarties.
Thank you, W. Corden, Queen Nova Dolls, and Cyril Simony.
I do want to call out again Cyril Simony for doing a super thanks on the video after the live stream, which is fantastic. Thank you all so much for your support.
We love that.
Let's dig straight into
the headlines.
So as we discussed a little bit, David was announced. I think he's calling it David Smart Doll, which is I don't know how I feel about Smart Doll as the last name. Is that like
Joe action figure?
Yeah, right. This is I mean, it's pretty great. He clearly 3D printed a head of Michelangelo's David. Now, of course, to me, this has sort of connection to something that is also actually going on in the news in America. I don't know if that's why he chose this specifically as sort of like a dig, but there's a whole controversy about banning, the ability to see Michelangelo's David in schools. Thank you so much, Like No Other Designs. We really appreciate that. I
have to say very, very quickly that with my vision the way it is right now, it said sec, and it looks like it says sex $20.
That is not what they're paying for. Yes, that is the currency for anyone not paying attention. Anyway, so David is on his way, maybe, probably not. This is a pretty ridiculous article here.
And yet, though, like, I mean, Good Smile Company does like replicas of statues and things, so I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of. But yeah,
he says, in light of the recent uproar surrounding David, so as we just mentioned, we understand the importance of ensuring our version remains a cherished collectible. That's why each David Smart Doll will come with 5 troll face stickers that can be washed and reused in the event that they lose their stickiness. So you can see. Oh, man. What I want to know, it's kind of hard to tell, but Danny, did you mold it? Like, I'm assuming not, but I'm kind of disappointed if he just slapped a sticker on a regular Smart Doll guy. Yeah, this is hilarious. Now, one thing to kind of get excited about is this is probably, it's hard to tell. Maybe not. Maybe this is a regular boy. Do you think this is a boy on a Evolve frame? I'm thinking maybe not, based on how the shoulders are sitting and such.
Probably. I mean, but it is a gray boy.
Well, that's true.
Which is cool.
Yeah. That is funny. So he does say it comes with a base. It's the only Smart Doll, or the first Smart Doll to include a base, because of course David has a base.
Yeah. Which I found out is it must be something like 3 feet tall.
Something like that.
Because I found one article that said that the real statue was 17 feet high, and I found another one that said 14 feet high, so I'm assuming that one was counting the base and one wasn't.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is, I don't know. I think there is a slight possibility that he might print up, or in an Utter Chaos bundle, put David heads in there for people like that he just printed.
I think it's fun. I would love it. Put him on a cyber bust.
Yep. It's just I think it's a great moment to just poke fun at some of the ridiculousness out there. Mm-hmm. And to restate, like, hey, we are artists, we like to make beautiful things, and this is a masterpiece. Next up,
a much more vivid color palette.
Yeah, now we've been seeing this teased for a long time.
Yeah.
He has been talking about Transformers. He's been showing the colors, the acrylic paints and things like that. We assumed that there was actually some sort of real...
Like a license that he was working on, yeah.
It looks like that's not true.
So far, it looks like it's not true.
Because he does mention this is a cosplay, specifically.
Right. And it looks really cool. I mean...
It does.
That is so much fun.
I mean, it does show you what you can do, you know, like just on top of like that. It's really funny.
I even like the addition of the yellow, like the sash that actually matches the pants.
Yep.
And stuff. Like it looks really neat.
I love this sort of like, you know, Bumblebee Kigurumi.
Yeah, well, it's like what you would buy for a kid to wear for a Halloween costume, which is really fun.
Yeah, I love that it's not like, I mean, I guess the other one's sort of. I think this would actually be funny if Danny do like a costume that is like looks like this, where it's like somebody made it. I would love to see like a 3D printed costume that looks like it's made out of corrugated cardboard.
Well, it's like when you play Disney Dreamlight Valley, and you do stuff for the Toy Story characters. When you do stuff for Buzz Lightyear, he gives you a task to make all this stuff, and your helmet ends up being like a cardboard box with crayon on it, and then like cardboard wings, and you get to have them afterwards, which is funny. So I mean, something like that would be hysterical.
Yeah, very cool. We've got Bumblebee with Bumblebee, and another shot. So see if we can get a better shot here at the feet. Yeah, those
look so good,
really good.
And it's not normally my kind of thing, but those just look really good.
Yeah. I would love to see, you know, well, we'll talk more about that later, but I would love, like, you know, can they actually transform? Here we go. Optimus with Optimus. Let's see if he points anything out here. Again, he does remind us all that these are not official products, that they're just having fun, just cosplays.
Right.
And yeah, so there's so many things that they could have fun with like this.
And then he asked what our favorite is, and I don't know. I like Bumblebee.
Yeah, you know, sadly for me, it's been I haven't been into Transformers like since I was a kid. It didn't like stick with me in terms of something that I absolutely loved. So, I mean, I would end up having to say, yeah, probably. I don't know. I think you could do some interesting, like, Decepticon stuff. Would be fun.
Yeah.
But. And there's our back. Very cool. I mean, it looks really good.
So much work in that, Danny. It looks so good.
Yeah, wow. I think we have another sort of cosplay-ish. The mecha! Again, we've been seeing this for a very long time.
Yes, we've been wondering what's been going on with it, all these different elements, and this looks so cool.
The big question here, I mean, obviously, it exists. Like, these are prototypes, 3D prints of these really large... I don't know how her feet are, like, did he take her legs off or something? But, you know, this is made to house an actual smart doll inside it, which is insane.
Yeah, that's really... Yeah, I wonder if it's open in the back. Maybe she's kneeling.
I think it's designed, as you see here, to come out the front.
Okay.
But you can even see here, they've got, like, I don't know if that's padding. It looks kind of like padding versus, like, 3D printed to look like padding.
Right. I can't tell. That does look like threads in there, but it's hard to tell. Like I said, vision, not so much. Yeah,
right. We've seen these, or at least parts of these, in the past. So these designs, the design of this whole product was made by Kunio Okawara, and they worked on Mobile Suit Gundam, Armor Trooper, Votoms, Getter Robo. So this is a legendary artist for mecha design.
Yeah, those drawings are fabulous.
And here they are meeting a long while ago. Danny's a little younger in this.
With a pair of Mirais.
Yep. And then again, more. I mean, these are just very cool.
That is just so cool. So, I mean, this could very well be something that he's doing as a one-off, you know, for the shop. It could be something where he releases the files.
So here's the full thing. So this is a smaller sized version, you know, prototype of what it's going to look like. I mean, that is crazy. And it looks like, at least from this design, their legs are going to go down into here. So the smart doll is basically head to knees. So that's like 2 feet right there.
Yep.
So I'm going to say this thing is probably at least 3 feet tall. Let me see if he actually mentions it. 59 inches tall.
59 inches tall. That is a large...
1.5 meters.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. He says, at first I thought the mecha was too big to make as a pilotable version for Smart Doll, and they were going to actually scale it down to 60 centimeters. So basically make it just make a mech the size of a Smart Doll. Yeah, this was made specifically for the Smart Dolls, and it's working out.
It looks really great.
Let's see if there's any other pictures here. Yeah. So what do we think? What's our verdict here? Is this April Fool's? Is this a joke? Is this actually happening? What do you think?
Well, like I was saying, I mean, it could very well be something that he decides to make and let people buy. It could be something where he's only making one so he can have it for one or two so he can have them for the shop.
Yeah.
But it could also be something where he releases the files for other people to 3D print. You know, I mean, it could be a lot of different things. I don't think it's entirely far-fetched at all. I mean, he obviously went to having the artist create the designs for it, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna still take some time. They're still prototyping. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see if it's something he actually releases, and if he does release, you know, if he does release it, then is it, you know, this could be really expensive. That's what I was reaching for.
Yeah.
Now, W. Corden mentioned that that's a lot of work for a joke.
Yes, but would not be unheard of from Danny.
Well, I think the joke is a side effect. I think Danny, I mean, look at what Danny did to cosplay himself as a Mandalorian. I mean, that took a lot of time and a lot of effort. I could see him doing this just for himself and just to do it. The real question is how can he make this repeatable and something that they can actually, you know, sell. And I don't think he'll care. I mean, you think about things like Smart Doll Plus. I mean, Smart Doll Plus is on its way back, coming to, you know, getting over some issues, but that had price issues. It was very, very expensive. And things like the Mirai Carry, also something very expensive and ended up pricing out of things. So I'll be interested to see if maybe he does like a, you know, at some point a poll or something, starting to reach out and get an idea for what's the market for this.
I think lots of people will want this. I think that there will be Dolphy owners, like Dolphy Dream owners, that want it because a Dolphy Dream should fit inside.
It does look reasonably roomy in terms of flexibility. Plus, they, you know, Smart Doll tends to be on the wider side of certain measurements.
Yeah, especially the bottom half. But yeah, so I mean, I think since they're roughly the same height and everything, I think that there will be a lot of people that would want this.
Yeah. So, this is very cool. The Michaela Frost mentioned the Centaur girl. She was a joke. Got actually prototyped, so did go through to fruition, and then just got sold as a prototype on the garage.
Right.
I don't think he's selling this as a I don't think he lets this one go personally, unless he makes an extra one or something like that and sells it. But
right.
I do suspect we might get one of those like random like utter chaos bundles that is like, 300,000 yen or something like that.
Right. The whatever the whatever he called it. I don't know. There's it's got a special name.
Oh, it's Dead Jim, I believe is what it's called. Or no, it's Chaos Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was saying the phrase it was based on. Yeah. Hopefully this is something that people can actually reasonably buy.
Yeah. It's very cool. I mean, I could even see wanting one like just to stand up in the house somewhere, just because it just looks really cool.
Yep.
It would look great back here, nice and big.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd want to like suspend it from the ceiling so it's like flying or something. All right. So again, there's a good chance this exists. We don't know how much it will exist. Like it will exist. This is gonna happen.
In what form?
Is it gonna get sold to actual people? Hard to say. All right, another cosplay.
This one looks really good. I really like this one.
We have been talking about Star Wars,
Yeah, because Danny actually said he was interested in possibly doing Star Wars apparel.
Yep.
And what did people want to see? Of course, I still want my Ewok Kigurumi.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That would be amazing. But this looks really cool.
It looks fantastic. Now it's interesting that this is a cosplay. It's kind of interesting that we're seeing more cosplays right now, and versus waiting to see something if he actually gets a deal, a license with somebody, and maybe this means that the licensing fell through, or maybe this is just him going, okay, I'm just gonna do cosplays and put it out there. Before we get into kind of like the not ramifications, but the sort of there's some other news attached to this. Let's take a peek at these details here.
That looks really great.
So, I mean, the beautiful thing is he had the flight suits. And could make some simple adjustments. Right.
There are definitely differences in this suit, but yeah, I mean, the shape is basically there already.
Right. Yeah, they've definitely looks like they've added these panels on these top stitched.
This actually looks almost like the Sequoia jacket attached to pants.
Right.
Because it's got the neck thing and whatnot.
And then this piece, I mean, look at all of these essentially pleats, I guess.
Yeah.
To make this sort of bib. I'd have to look it up, but as far as like what that sort of bib looks like in the movies, but it's very, very nice detailed. And then this, look at the little Danny's obsessed.
Switches.
He loves distressing things.
Yep. But yeah, like this device has been used a lot. Those switches are all the paint coming off of them. Things are chipped.
Yeah. Now, so we all know we've been seeing a lot of cosplays lately since Halloween, basically. Since Halloween of this year, we have seen multiple cosplays, and it's kind of a new thing that he's doing. And we get some insight into why. He mentioned never meet your heroes.
Right.
That this whole story is sad. What happened, Sandy?
Well, like as Danny says, he's like really into cosplay, likes to have the dolls do it, and he had done a couple of cosplays recently, and when the people who own the IP saw it. They saw the pictures. They said they didn't think it was appropriate for the Coco doll to be wearing one of their characters.
So, I mean, he's pairing it with this Coco doll looking fabulous in Star Wars.
And of course, Disney, Star Wars, there's no problem with representation there. He very clearly says it's a Japanese company, but he just up and walked out of that deal. And just cute, mad respect for him for just going, you know what, I'm just going to focus. Now, here's the not concern, but the ramifications of this. It sounds like Danny is shying away from IPs going forward. Right.
I don't think he's going to stop going after something like Star Wars.
Right.
But, you've got, he says, after CC and Naruto, their focus is going to be on promoting their own brand instead of other IPs.
Right. And it says, in doing so, I avoid the disappointment of discovering poo that ruins the image of my childhood heroes and heroines.
Yeah. It's just sad. And I know for Japan, there's still sort of a, obviously in America, we have an ongoing struggle with racism and the impacts of just on our culture. But for Japan, and this is saying someone who has way not enough knowledge about this, but at least from what I understand, there's a long term, sort of amount of racism that is not really talked about all that much in Japan. It's not an issue that is as to the forefront. And it's really nice to see Danny shedding some light on things like that. He's not calling anybody out specifically, but
I just think it's sad that some of these IPs, at least this particular IP, does not have an appreciation of the spirit of cosplay.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter what you look like, you can play whatever character you want to play. It's a tribute to the character. And so it should be okay. No matter what color you are, or how big you are, or how small you are, you should be able to do these cosplays.
Yeah, again, though, in Japan, I think that is a very different situation, in that, the who's doing cosplay, you've got all the stuff happening with cosplayers, like getting charged, or, they're cosplayers who are making money, charging for pictures, with them. And there's laws basically governing cosplay in Japan. So there's a lot of complexity, and differences culturally and otherwise that we certainly don't have a full understanding of.
Right.
So that means we're going to see more things like this. We're going to see Danny creating more fun things and just getting them out there and showing them. And what I love about this is we may not be able to buy this. Maybe we never get any Star Wars stuff.
Right.
Quite honestly, it's a likelihood.
But it's inspirational.
Exactly.
Like people who can go, like I just sat here and went, I could use the Sequoia jacket and the pants and put them together and make one of those. And, okay, I think I can figure out that breast thing, and I think that's just really, really cool.
Danny, I have an idea for you. And, because you have so much time, I would love to see Danny do a breakdown / what were the challenges, and kind of show some of the things that they did or some of the things that they learned. Right. In creating this particular costume.
Right. Like what's in between we see some of these things being built behind the scenes, on the 3D printer or whatever like that. And then we see the final product. I would love to know, what a little bit of what goes on in between.
Yeah, because there is a a very large contingent of creators who are smart doll collectors, and I think, you know, that transparency that we all love about him, you know, like a lot of what he does, which makes sense, is put it up there. Here's the pattern. Go have fun with it. Right.
Right.
And you know, maybe he could just put these patterns up for free and, you know, let people make them or whatever. I guess as long as he's not planning on ever doing something like this, you know, again, and putting it up for free, that could be okay. You know, IP wise, whatever. But you know, it would be, I don't know, more learning would be great. Again, you have so much time in the world.
We know that.
But you know, there's something. There's also possibly something here. You know, for instance, the things that he does do. There's also a good opportunity. I know you've done this a little bit in terms of the adaptation of patterns. But there's probably a great place here for somebody to pick up, for multiple people to pick up, taking patterns that Danny puts out there, and not just so breaking down this is how you do it, but also
this is how I adapted it.
Yeah.
Like I've been thinking about making a little short video about how I reused the pieces and stuff to do what I did today with putting the ruffle on the Sequoia jacket and stuff. So
yeah, so you're already in the middle of making what it was. We talked about Sandy making her first Sequoia jacket and going, just do it, buy the book.
But I used a print and it didn't want all of the stuff that goes to the Sequoia jacket. So like I took some stuff off and then
you were taking off like pockets and things.
Yeah, and then I went, but I want something here. Now I made like a little pauldron ruffle thing.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, so the other key thing about this particular article was, with all that time that's not going to be spent working on IPs and working on the Smart Doll IP, there are some items coming that we can all be excited about. And he lists it at the end, which is, of course, dolls that represent different skin colors, cultures, and physical differences. And in development now is a plus-size body, which we know about. He's working on the pear-shaped body.
Yep.
A tracheostomy tube, which is pretty cool. And a wheelchair.
Which has been off and on for some time. So it's nice to see him mention that again. I have a feeling that the wheelchair is coming back. Again, another side benefit to the new Evolve frame.
Right.
Because of the fact that they can actually sit properly. Now, I know there's also issues with they have long legs. So that's probably one of the biggest issues he's got to get around. But I think the Evolve frame will probably help with that. I
still hope it's like a Cerebro style, like, you know, like one of Professor X's chairs.
Yes.
That would look really cool.
Yeah, that would be really nice. So if you are somebody who loves to craft, to make cosplay for your dolls, or just sew yourself, a great place to also share your process is our Discord server. So you should definitely check out that. Sign up on Discord at myladydisdain.com/Discord. And there's a whole forum for creative projects where you can just post what you're working on, and you can tag it with, you know, what type of thing is 3D printing, sewing, whatever. And you can also say like need advice, and ask for help.
And we generally try to keep it it's not a toxic environment, which is wonderful. We basically, we pay a lot of attention to that. We have some good moderators, and you know, we just keep it fun.
Yeah, I have a thread that I started in there, a post about like getting back into 3D printing that just keeps coming back up because somebody else is like, there's just a slow ongoing conversation about 3D printing happening.
We had another sewing circle last weekend, which was really fun.
Yep.
It's usually just, you know, a bunch of people talking about whatever they feel like talking about. But we have fun we go for like 3-4 hours usually.
Yeah. So, this is, you know, the sign of the end of IPs for the foreseeable future after Naruto and C2.
C2, right.
let's get back in here. All right. Oh, well, I guess we know that was cosplay, so it's not like that was confusing whether it was a joke or not.
Right.
Here we have a new telescopic, what he's calling the monopod.
The monopod, yeah. It's basically, it's the same idea as like what we do with the mic stand.
Yeah, it's basically this, except the old, I don't know if I have the old telescopic ones, but it's a telescopic, metal piece, and then on the bottom there's a 1/4 inch threaded hole, so you can put it on and attach it to like camera attachments, tripod things, stuff like that.
Okay, but it's a little bit slimmer. It's slimmer and more like our stands that we're used to.
Yeah, and it would collapse down to more like that in size. So let's take a look. I'm clicking on the wrong screen. So here we can see the monopod is attached to a variety of different tripod bases that he ordered from Amazon. Really easy to find this stuff. They're generally pretty cheap. And there's the Gorilla Pod is a great example of one because it's so flexible in terms of just like grabbing on to stuff versus just standing there. You can see here he's got a clip as well with with a camera attachment on it. And it's probably, I would say it's probably on the bottom, maybe a little bit thicker than this post. It's not too much thinner than this because it's got to hit the
you gotta be able to get the 1/4 inch
hole in there. But let's see. Here you can see he's got it on the Gorilla Pod just on a post. So it's just wrapping around the top of a post, and she's standing up there, and this is the picture he took with it. Now Danny does this a lot, just using his hands, just squeezing the bottom of the legs together. And here he can actually just set it up on a thing. And we also get to see the mech, little mech
fist,
hands, but not the big one. It's a small version,
right? Which looks really cool. And of course the badge lanyard thing.
Yeah.
My thing I'm wondering is this also going to be able to serve as a regular stand? So like if you're traveling out, if you're out and about, with doing some photography and what you decide you don't need any of those interesting bases, can you just use it like a regular, like click stand?
I mean, technically probably, but you would likely want to put something on the end, maybe with like a rubber or something like that.
A little cap on it. Something,
yeah. But yeah, I think technically it would work.
Maybe even just a piece of blue tack.
Possibly. So here we see the setup of Danny taking that shot we just saw. This is, to me, the biggest issue, the challenge that he must have faced was the strength of this thing. We've seen the normal telescoping stand is enough to lean against. It is a third leg,
right? Basically,
maybe a second, depending on what you're doing with the whatever. But a lot of the weight distribution is still on the frame. And here he had to make like these essentially are TV antennas, right?
Right.
He had to get or make, I'm not sure whether he sourced them somewhere or somehow designed them himself. But this thing has to be really strong so that it can suspend an entire doll without collapsing.
Right.
My big question
because
here,
because it's going to be able to float. You're going to be able to make it look like she's jumping or flying or whatever, and it needs to be able to hold the full weight of the doll.
Yeah, so like here, all of the weight of this doll is right here, and which means it's also there, and it's also there. All of these little notches of how far it has to be able to pull to whatever height you want and stay there.
Right.
My other question, I don't know if he's tested this or not, but I would be curious to see if this is something that can lean out and still support them. Like, at what point? So, you know, if this post is supporting them and it's on top of a tripod, and you tilt the tripod forward,
right?
At what point does it, you know, or backwards or whatever? But at what point does it break? Basically, like, is there like are these strong enough to not only hold the weight top to, you know, straight up and down, but also to have a shearing weight, you know, basically.
Right.
But we do have confirmation that this does support the full weight, again, top to bottom. Where is it? Telescopic rod that was designed to withstand the weight of a floating smart doll. And at the top is a swivel attachment with a that can be tightened with a screw, providing added stability. So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how this works. This looks like it could provide a lot of extra flexibility.
I love the idea of having the clip on the table with the doll on it.
Yeah.
That's great.
And here it is, and you can get an idea. That looks, honestly, pretty similar in...
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to need a few of those.
Yeah, no, that's a really nice... Especially because they're, like, again, we'll notice that a lot of what Danny is doing right now, again, Danny makes products for him, right? It's all about travel and compactness for him. So this is getting at, yes, stability, but something that has the flexibility of going onto a tripod, but is also a very small thing that is nice and easy to take around. Versus these, I mean, these are okay. You could put them in a backpack, but they're kind of annoyingly long. I'm instantly thinking of simple, practical things like I'd like to have the clamp for the table for when we're out somewhere and we have a doll and we're going out to dinner. You know, right? Like, so you could just make sure that the doll isn't going to fall on her face in your plate of food, you know, and clip them onto the table. And it also actually, you know what? It makes room on the table, because if you have something with enough height, you can actually get them off the table, so you're not actually, like, filling the table up with dolls. Well, if it's clamped to the side of the table, then it's going to do that anyway, but yeah. Right. Yeah, very cool. So, do they fool us, or... Oh, no, that's real. Yeah. It's totally real. I can't imagine this not being real. Yeah, no, that's real. All right. Pocket doll. Topic. Hot topic. Hot topic. It's a pocket doll. And I don't know how much new is in this. This is okay. I'm half and half. I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I'm half and half on joke versus not joke. So I think we're littered with various jokes here. Let's take a look. So here he's talking. He's talked about this in the past. He talked about the essentially getting to the smallest scale while keeping them looking natural in smart doll style, to have it not look like a child's toy. Right. Wigs are especially an issue. Because you get, you know, smaller and smaller, you get less and less hair, and then the hairstyle becomes, you know, it has less weight to it. It has, you know, it starts to become not representative of like a large scale, person, a normal person.
A large scale person.
A large scale person. A large scale doll / person. So he has, they are at 18 inches. And anything shorter than that, and they pretty much lost what they had. He makes a mention in here that we've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Using the standard for 1/4 scale, so that we can use the same wardrobe. This is a little bit different issue. It's the same issue, but a different reasoning, right? Like he's saying, people have asked for the doll to be shaped like, like a mini Dolphy Dream.
We have specifically asked, like several times, that we want a quarter size kid doll, basically.
I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I care more about the scale of the head to the body than the doll necessarily. But yeah, ultimately, yeah, we've asked for this a couple of times. He's not going to do it. We'll probably keep asking because it's just like we really want, I don't know, sister dolls are just so much fun. We want a family. But he says, yeah, the day I start making purely what customers want is the day I stop caring about the product and caring just about money, which won't happen. And he says, so this is his reason. Again, we talked before about making things smaller, making them more portable.
Mm-hmm.
Danny's got a hernia, and it's always those, like, every now and then we get a little TMI from Danny.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Danny and I are roughly the same age.
Yeah.
Right. So I get it. Like, I carried 2 smart dolls in a backpack when we went to Dallas, and it was, like, on top of everything else that I had to carry, it was a lot of weight.
Yeah. So the joke here, and it does really sort of feel like he just took what we've talked about before and added a joke onto it. And that is, he says basically that this is going to be seamless, that the smart doll, the pocket doll is going to be a seamless doll. We can almost guarantee it's not. Especially because as soon as he said it, he says, we developed a new polymer called gotandanium, which is also the resource that the blue dolls, like, that they mined or whatever,
to be blue.
Yeah. So gotandanium is an ongoing story in an element in the story, the Solar Marines story.
Right. Created by infusing soft vinyl with titanium.
Because, yeah, just melting metal and plastic together naturally makes the plastic, stronger.
And able to flex and hold positions.
Yeah. Of course, watch somebody be like, no, it does. But gotandanium, clearly a joke. And you can tell, this is like the last of the day. He checks time in the US before posting, which is, okay, It's still April Fool's somewhere.
Okay. So, talking about the picture, there is a seamless body there.
Yeah, what is this body?
It's the mannequin body.
Yeah.
He told us a while back when he was still working on it that as far as Pocket Doll goes, when it first released, it was going to be a mannequin style body, without the ability to bend the arms and things like that.
Yeah. So, it's the same stuff we've seen for a while. I feel like...
And that's actually Valiant without her, face... without her differences.
It's so funny how, like, facial elements, be they, face paint or anything like that, they draw your attention so much that you don't pay attention to the eyes as much.
Right.
It's hard to spot these.
Yeah, he says it. Someone asked him, and he said it. I think it might have been in the comments that Valiant was used for that.
And we've got Valiant here with a full-size gray Courage.
Yeah. That's so beautiful.
She's so good.
And that wig is, I want that wig. That color is awesome.
Yeah. It is. It's the blue. It's the electric blue of gray.
For the gray girls.
Yeah.
And it's very, very good.
It is like a very, very good, like just the right dark tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great.
There it is again on Coco, on Liberty. But what are we talking about here, everybody? Something we've been asking for a long time.
We've got a kneeling girl.
Yep.
Danny says he is working on the Seiza position, which is sitting on knees. It's not quite there yet, but it is interesting in terms of what it looks like. He's just, this may be about going to some alterations to the shell, but moving to the whatchamacallit, the soft vinyl.
Right.
So he says, after reviewing customer feedback for the new frame, became clear that there's still strong demand for a Seiza pose. Although initially hesitant, two factors motivated me to attempt designing the feature. The first was my personal need to travel with a smaller bag.
Right.
Again, like if you have a feature that you want and you can pitch a reason why it's going to make Danny's
life easier. Yeah.
That's how to get it. So he wants the knees to actually be able to fold behind the body. And the second one was the modularity of the new Evolve frame, making it easier to modify the injection molds. Additionally, the use of various instruments, the durometers and the digital force gauges during development allows them to quantify values such as force and material flexibility, which aided them in the design process.
I love the up in the first paragraph where he says he had looked at things like the custom kits that make the knees resemble open crocodile jaws.
Yeah, the double jointed knees aren't pretty. They work all right under clothes.
Right.
But let's take a look. So here we've got a bringing the knee up to the chest. Again, not quite there fully, but way more than we've ever seen.
Right, and you can see how the leg pulled all the way up like that is actually smooshing the torso, because that's definitely soft vinyl.
So we've got soft vinyl, basically. Of course, the bust has always been soft vinyl. We've continued that into the torso and the thigh and the shin.
Yeah. So full use of this is going to have to include soft vinyl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he wants to carry them. That makes finding bags that, work with your doll
way easier.
Heck of a lot.
You can carry a much smaller bag, that's great to me. I was constantly looking for, I just need that other half-inch.
So here we can see the frame doing the same thing. It looks like they've definitely altered the knee joint here to make it be able to do this. And here is the interesting part. So there's normally a slit in the knee. Mm-hmm. It looks like they've either widened that slit or that's actually stretching. I'm not sure which.
Okay.
Because there's sort of this V here.
Like there's a cover, the cover on it is stretching.
Yeah, so this, normally these are straight from here. It's the part basically where the post comes down. And normally you don't see it. You see it a little bit when you bend them 90 degrees. Mm-hmm. They'll poke out underneath the front of the bottom of the thigh here, basically. Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, geez.
So we've got leaning forward with straight legs.
Yeah, so now we're seeing even more flexibility again in that thigh.
Even like that, fully dressed, you wouldn't notice that smoosh of the torso that much.
Yeah. And here we have the Smart Doll drone. Danny, you should totally make a smart doll drone that is just like an evolve frame.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Of course, you could always just mount a frame on your drone. You have a drone that I bought you like 3 or 4 years ago that you don't even use.
Yeah, well, it was in the pandemic, and I had so I couldn't go get like the tests. Like, I actually have to go take a test. There's a lot of things like in the way, and we had dogs, so I couldn't like play with it in the house. So I'll do it at some point. It will happen. I want to do drone footage of the dolls outside. Anyway. Yeah, here. Oh God, look at this. Look at the. That is insane. That doll just wrapped up in fetal position, essentially. Yep. This looks great with it spread out. Like that is. Again, it's not quite sitting all the way back. So, and I'm assuming, you know, even with the soft vinyl, it's just a little bit too much resistance here.
Right.
There was some thoughts. Let's see. Cornflower Blue mentioned, my concern is melting when the hard plastic frame comes in contact with the softer vinyl. Let me get that under there.
Trying to fix some layout there.
Yeah. So I don't know what. That's probably a good question for Danny. I would say likelihood is Danny's going to be testing for things like that and what, you know, sort of damage is happening to the, you know, to the vinyl, its ability to restore its shape and everything like that.
I will say, if you're someone who is accustomed to soft vinyl, a la like Angelphilia, Danny's vinyl is thicker than that. It's the bust vinyl. It's not, it's, you know, because we actually, thanks to the Happiest Gilmore, we actually do have an Angelphilia doll that we're going to be showing you guys, but we wanted to feel what the vinyl was like, and it's much thinner. The AP vinyl is much thinner.
I'm not sure if this is just regular. No, this is again soft body, or, you know, soft vinyl here on these. So yeah, I think I'm really glad to see, and again, it just comes down to, like, there are things that we want to do posing wise, and he cares about posing to some extent, but he cares about the aesthetics, like, more than that. And if it destroys the aesthetics just to get a pose, he usually, you know,
he won't do it.
He won't do it.
Yeah.
But we finally, like, I gotta say, this is the Evolve frame, and all of its incarnations, has really clearly revolutionized the smart doll because of all the things that it's opening up, all the doors that it's opening for Danny to be able to experiment with and to try.
I mean, he's been working on this frame for a while, and it's like, you know, it's gotten to a point where it's going to enable him to be able to do lots of different things, lots of different kinds of attachments, things like that.
All right, so I guess that reloaded. So we also have Smart Doll Land. It's happening. I feel attacked. So, Danny says that Smart Doll Land is happening. They've got the land. Now this is not a theme park, but it is a trailer park, basically, for these trailers that they've been building. And he says, after the first trailer is complete, we will create other trailers that can merge into one massive Jaeger, like the ones in Pacific Rim. This concept will allow us to be more flexible and creative with our designs, making Smart Doll Land a truly unique and ever-evolving space with a Jaeger that will stand taller than Tokyo Skytree. he also mentioned, he says, for the first few months, our team will be using Smartdoll Land as a relaxing retreat. With the beach only a stone's throw away, we plan to offer water sports activities such as scuba diving and kaiju battling as part of the Smartdoll Land package. We are excited to welcome you to Smartdoll Land and look forward to updating you soon when we open our doors. Checks what time it is in the US.
Yeah. So we have somewhat facetiously in the past before said, gosh, it would be cool if he would make some of those that he could open up for
just Airbnb those things. Come on.
But we knew that this was something he's been saying that it's something that he did for his employees. It's not right, it's not right at the shop. It's in a vacation spot. But he is making these trailers. So there's your grain of truth in the article.
For his own people.
Right.
Because this is basically this isn't even like, it's not in Tokyo. This is in Chiba. This is near the beach for them. Like, this is essentially their sort of vacation away, and they'll have a place to stay. I like that he does mention here, it's like, the site will feature multiple trailer houses for lodgings and workshops, allowing guests to build smart dolls
and enjoy rural Japan.
Sitting around, like, I'm sitting there going, I know this is a joke, but yes, please, yes.
That would be so cool.
You didn't fool us, Danny, but sure as hell disappoint us.
And took a little dig in there because he knows we've been saying.
I know. I feel like I feel personally attacked here.
We're so glad we could write your April Fool's joke for you, Danny.
I think that's it. Yep. Oh, we're back to there. Oh, goodbye. So that is the headlines. We do hope you are enjoying this. Again, one of our favorite times of the year. Mm-hmm. If you are, be sure to give this video a like.
Hand pack one.
Open up Hand Pack 1 and give this a thumbs up, and it will help us spread the word to more people and build this community. And it's a pretty awesome community, so thank you all so much. And speaking of community,
what's it time for, John?
Let's see what's happening in your neck of the woods.
We came to party all night long. Let's sing on to every song. We don't need nobody's attention, don't need nobody else in our
Oh, that's never gonna end.
There were some great photos in there, though.
So good.
I could watch that again. That was some really good ones in there. I was trying to pull out some of my highlights. It was nice to see some photos from Kit and Kat, Anna from Kit and Kat, MDK Dolls. Really nice photo. My particular one was the creative black and white from Charvet. That was very good. I like seeing some of the people are doing a lot more experimenting with black and white, which is really fun.
Oh, I loved, that's one of the first things I started doing, like one, lighting, doing like one light shots. That's not the word, but
you have a whole set of photos of Luma.
Yeah.
That are in black and white.
Yeah, I am black and white, and just only one light lit. I can't. Words are escaping me. Great Smarty Party, everybody. If you are interested in photography, we just launched a new photography forum on the Discord, and that is a place where you can make a full post. I think you can embed up to 5 images, I want to say, in the post itself. And then, of course, you can just keep attaching and replying to yourself. But a nice place to just put a whole series of pictures and let people see them all together. And browsing them is a lot of fun because you get just to see all sorts of pictures. Really, really nice. So check that out. Make use of it. And, of course, keep submitting to the Smarty Party. We'd love to see it, and it's the chat goes crazy every time.
Yep.
And of course, we have to say a big thank you to Ninja Warrior W. Corden every time, right as the Smarty Party starts off. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your super chat.
Let's take a look at some questions. Let's see what y'all got for us. I don't know why I keep right-clicking on things, but Like No Otter Design says, did any of your dolls pull any April Fool's pranks on you? I don't know. I think we got kind of lame.
Yeah, no, I think we just kind of we get so caught up in the stuff coming from Danny around April Fool's, it becomes a busy time for us. So, no, we didn't really have anything like that happen.
Jamani Bowman asks, it's a gray boy body. Assuming talking about David.
It looked like it was.
It looked like it was. It's really hard to say, you could look at it and say, well, it's too light to be gray, but
it could have been a 3D printed, but who knows?
It'd be strange. I guarantee you is a gray frame, and he may have just done that because those are the frames he had and not evolve. You know what I mean? They didn't, he didn't, so I'm guessing that's why he did it. And maybe all of those other pieces were just prototyping vinyl, like a regular, non thing, gray vinyl, but
we don't know.
Who knows? Is that a sign? I would not take that as a sign. I would take this sign if he puts out boys and grays are coming out that we may see a gray boy.
I think it's very likely we'll see, at some point along the lines, we'll see a gray boy.
Danny, I think you need to release a vampire boy to go with the vampire girl.
Oh, yeah.
And they both need to be gray, of course. So, who knows?
How about a zombie boy to go with Anomaly?
Sure. Like No Other Designs, would you think with the evolved frame, Danny might take up the Centaur again?
Maybe, but it seems like he's more focused on doing the mech thing.
Yeah.
How about a Centaur mech? That would be cool. Even if it's something like what I've said in the past, where you could just plug the body in,
Yeah, I think he could probably do it, but using what he knows, I have no ability to gauge his interest in tackling the Centaur again.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see it for a while.
But a Centaur mech would be really neat. Mech horse body,
Jenna asks, which Angelphilia doll did we get? I have Madoka, Aoi, and Sayo.
She does not have a name. It's
because she's not like the.
It's a number, but I can't. I don't know for sure off the top of my head. I'd have to look, but we will be showing it to you. We have plans to show you that in the future.
Magic Durgan asks, do you think that a marble gray is likely now that we've seen the lighter gray for David, or do you think it was just for the one body? Again, with this, I don't think that was necessarily the likely. If that was a different gray, those were probably, and those aren't like vinyl. Mm-hmm. I would say that was probably just 3D printed or something like that. Mm-hmm. But
I mean, he may go to the prototype garage. You never know. You know, I mean, because like the Centaur did, the fun anime dolls that he did not too long ago went to the garage.
I would look at it this way: he, the frame was there was a legit frame in there, which means I think that was a gray frame. And if you you cannot compare colors unless you actually have two colors to compare.
Right.
Two separate pictures won't even do it because lighting, camera, editing, whatever. So, you know, I think it was probably just straight up gray and normal, and it looked lighter than you thought. Unless we go back and look at it, and it's like, looking at it, I'll even go here real quick.
That's a great shot there.
The gray in this is the same. It's the same color in the frame and in there. It's actually a little bit lighter here in the frame versus the shell. Again, I have a feeling. It's hard to say. There's like a texture that I can sort of see, and I can't tell if this is a texture of like compression in the, you know, I think this is a compression in the image, not like texture on.
I mean, it could be painted too, because it looks like there's texture on the ball joint as well.
Yeah. But I am pretty sure this is great. This is taken in sunlight. This is outside in sunlight. So you have the sunlight hitting, and you can see that, like, and of course there's lots of ambient light as well around the front. So I think this is just straight up gray. But anyway. I like No Otter Designs with, I think, a record 3 questions.
How do I stop my chaos head addiction? I'm at 3 bodies where one has more than 3 heads by now. I don't know. The last time we ordered chaos heads, like normally you get a chaos head and it's very difficult to see what's wrong with it. And we got a chaos head once that kind of like was not, like I could tell what was wrong with it, and once I could tell what was wrong with it, I just didn't really care anymore.
Yeah.
So I just prefer to get the full doll anyway. So
I think I mean, why are you buying them? You know, are you buying them out of fear? Is it FOMO? Is it like these are things that, you know, like I'm hoping that I'm gonna get dolls that or heads that I can't get? Or are you buying them because you like the randomness and... Yeah,
I mean, because there's also a possibility of getting something that was, like, worked on but didn't make it out. And, you know, so you get, like, some face with kintsugi on it that you weren't expecting or whatever. So that's very cool. So if you're addicted to that part of it, then I don't know what to tell you, but...
You're right. If it is FOMO, then I would just say, you know, you need to start waiting and picking up bodies and real dolls and maybe selling heads and sell some of your heads if you can find the real doll version of that thing when it comes out. Or I don't know. I think selling and accepting your embrace it is the only thing we can say. All right. It looks like it's like No Otter says, it's blank chaos heads that I've painted. I mean, again, sell them. It's it's just, if you are a creative person and you're into painting things, and you're gonna be way ahead of bodies no matter what. So you have to accept the fact that you're gonna have floating heads. Like, that's gonna be a fact of life at that point.
You could also you have a shop, so you could also do it as a giveaway. You could be like, if you buy 6 outfits or whatever, I'm gonna give out this. I'm gonna do a giveaway of this head.
Yeah. And you could also look at doing doing things like cosplays and doing face ups for those things, and then selling the head and the outfit or something like that. If it's not something that you want to keep. But again, you need bodies. Like, if you can't accept it, you need bodies. All right, so that is gonna do it for us. I gotta get a better outro here, but we should see you all next week. So
enjoy your holiday if you celebrate, and we will see you next week.
All right, happy April Fools, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.